Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my review of The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. This is a standalone adult contemporary romance, and it follows our main character of Vanessa, and she has been an assistant to Aiden, the Wall of Winnipeg, who is a football superstar that she has been the assistant for a while. And he is a very kind of like, I would say, surly, grumpy dude that she has cared for all this time, but he barely speaks to her. She doesn't feel like he even knows really like anything about her, and he doesn't treat her very nicely. So one day she ends up quitting because she wants to pursue her graphic design career, and he basically shows up at her door and proposes a fake marriage because Aiden is Canadian and he wants his US citizenship, and he says that she's the only person that could do this for him, and he offers to pay her student loans and buy her a house, which I'm like, girl, I get it. That's a pretty sweet deal, even though it's like a felony. So she ends up pursuing this. It's the like fake marriage, fake dating trope, and everything kind of goes from there. So with my newfound reviewing of romance books, I find that romance is hard for me to kind of review because it really isn't the same for me as if I'm reviewing a science fiction or fantasy book, because you can kind of tell by my review if I enjoyed the reading experience. You can't so much with the romance books. So I have a lot of problems with this book, but I did enjoy reading it enough to keep reading it. But this is a 700-page romance book. 700 pages. And it has a lot of tropes that I do enjoy. It has, you know, fake dating, fake married, the like bed sharing type thing, the trope that comes up a lot when people are fake dating or fake married where they have to have this physical contact because other people's perception of their relationship, which brings them closer together, things like that. Having said that, this book is so long, and the slow burn, I wouldn't even really call slow burn because, like, yes it is, but at the same time, like, Aiden is literally a brick wall of zero emotion or very minimal interaction for 60% of the book. Like, this was a book I read on Kindle, so I know that for a fact. So there's very little for you to even think that he likes her at all, and they don't interact much. I prefer a more bantery, hate to love, slow burn relationship. They don't interact a ton, like I said, through the first like 60% of the book. There's a lot of filler, which is what makes this book so long, of Vanessa's career stuff, which is again just like whatever, and the writing I don't feel like sustains the 700 pages. I don't think this writing is anything particularly great. There's a few like decent-ish lines, but it's also a book that I feel like I could write, you know? And that's not saying that it's like the worst writing ever, but it's just very basic. So when you have a lot of filler with this basic writing, I'm like, I'm a little bored. When can the characters interact again? So it just makes it slow burn for the sake of the fact that there's like filler in between. So it wasn't my favorite of the slow burns, although people are like, oh, you don't know slow burn until you've read Zapata. And I'm like, but is it slow burn if it's just filler? I don't believe so. I still was like pretty okay with it. There is a lot of focus. I always mention this because I feel like so many romance books have this trope. Vanessa isn't a small woman, so we don't have this like small woman, big man thing, but Aiden is a huge dude. You know, like he's this giant football player. She calls him big guy, whatever. So like he's just this massive guy, and throughout the entire story it's talked about like how massive he is, how like massive his trap muscles are, how massive his shoulders are, how massive his thighs are, how just big he is. I get it, okay, but like if we're 90% of the way into the book, do we have to keep mentioning how much of a beast he is? Like, I know, I've envisioned him enough by now. I get that he's a big dude. So that is a thing that romance books do a lot, it seems like, that I'm just like, please stop with giant man like descriptions. Like I just don't need them. So that was another thing that I'm just kind of like, that's annoying. I did like some of the like friend dynamics because there is a roommate that they have in the house that they live in when they're fake married, and he's kind of great, but he's also stereotypical good old boy, southern boy archetype. So and I also found the backstories of both characters to be like sort of sloppy. Not like it wasn't believable, but just that like, again, I don't think the writing supported some of the themes. So there's some themes of family discord, sort of like domestic violence between family members and things, and like foster care and things like that. and yeah, and physical abuse in this story in both of the characters' backstories. And I don't think that the like writing, not that it was, the writing wasn't good enough for it, but it just like, it just again felt like more filler because so much of the book was filler stuff. So, and it was kind of providing an explanation for how both of them behaved, but like, I just felt like it wasn't, I feel like the writing was weak in this book. I do. So because so much of it was filler, that also felt like filler, which just was like, ugh, this is a pretty serious topic that feels kind of just like dropped in to add more time where we're not focusing on the main characters being together. If the moments of the main characters actually interacting, because again, a lot of the book they like aren't interacting, having more like romantic type scenes or like, you know, these like moments of physical affection that are very few and far between, because again, slow burn, I get it. But like if that was condensed a bit more and we had maybe like a 400-page book, I think that would have been better. And it would have been more what I was like looking for. Like I don't need all these, like if I'm in there for the slow burn romance, I don't need your whole like life story, backstory, anything like that. I also didn't particularly love their relationship. I liked parts of it. My cat is playing with a toy that chirps and I want to take it away from her, but it's one of the moments of joy she gets in her life, so I'm not going to, and I hope it stops and it's not super annoying for you. Aiden as a character and their relationship I kind of found hard to like pull for. I liked, again, those moments that we had of like banter or togetherness or whatever, but I still found him like, does he even like her? I don't know, like through the majority of the book, she doesn't even think that he likes her. Like through like 85% of the book, she doesn't even think he likes her. And you're also kind of like, why does she love him? When she gets so little in return, it's just almost kind of like sad at times. So yeah, there's also a lot of times like, and he says this almost like affectionately, I guess, at points, but he tells her to shut up a lot. Like invalidates her feelings of like, she'll thank him for something and like, you know, be like, thank you because of, you know, whatever thing that he did. And he's like, shut up. And it's like, I get that's sort of like an insecure thing of like not accepting compliments, but like he says shut up to her a lot in just a way that I'm like, that's annoying. Like stop telling her to shut up. Like you shut up. So yeah, there's obviously things about this that I didn't love. Again, I just feel like this could have been condensed, less filler, and I would have enjoyed it a lot more because it would have had more of the points that I really liked. And with less filler, you would actually get the sense that they like each other. This is a good book for someone that doesn't like sex scenes though. So if you don't like sex scenes, this might be the book for you because the first sex scene, first I think almost only sex scene, doesn't happen until 97% of the way into the book. And it's explicit, but again, 97% of the way into the book. Most romances happen like 50% of the way into the book. So yes, it is slow burn. I get it. Whatever. It's just not as strong as I was hoping it to be because so many people like recommended this book. I still plan on reading this author. So again, this is a thing about like romance books. So I rated this 2 stars. And because I had a lot of problems with the writing and I wasn't butterfly feelings over the couple. Like I kind of rate romance based on how like squealy I am over the couple, and I just didn't like love them because I didn't really see like what the connection there was, even though I liked some of their scenes and stuff and they had some tropes in there that I really liked. So I do plan on still reading this author, but this wasn't quite as great as I hoped it would be. It was okay while I was reading it. It was really good when I was feeling anxious. I just wanted something that was very just like sort of like bland. I would read more by this author though, and I do plan on reading more by this author, but just is not my new favorite romance author by any means. I do plan on reading From Lukov with Love because a lot of people commented on my review on Goodreads of this and were like, this book walked so that Lukov could run. And I'm like, okay, I'll read that one. And that one is more of an enemies to lover. So I think that will get more of the banter and things that I like about it, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'm not opposed to this author. If I rated a book 2 stars as a sci-fi or fantasy, I probably wouldn't want to read more from that author. In this case, I'm okay with it. It's just not anything that really blew me away. So comment below, let me know what you thought of The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. Thank you all for watching and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.